Good morning, guys. Hello. Hi, Deadwalk. Hi, Dylan. Hi, G. Sarcastic. Booster. Haha, that's you, isn't it?
It is.
Good morning, everybody. I have a very special interview for you guys today. We are hanging out with Shane and Key from the movie A Very Flattened Christmas. You've heard me talk about this movie on my YouTube channel and here on Twitch, and here they are. They're right here, so you guys can ask questions and all that jazz. Hi, Mike. Tell us about yourselves, guys, Shane and Key.
Hey, how's everybody doing? I'm Tawn Toothman. I produced the film A Very Flattened Christmas. I also starred in it and helped, write a little bit of the story and some of the foundational ideas of the script. And yeah, Shane.
Yeah, I'm Shane Wallace. I directed the film. I also created the series Flattened many years ago that starred Tawn Toothman over there, and where we resurrected these characters in this horror setting and decided to just start killing them.
So did the film start out as like a short film and then you guys expanded on it?
So like Shane said, in 2017 or so, we did a series called Flattened. It's actually available on YouTube. If you go to YouTube and just type in Flattened, there is a YouTube channel called Flattened.
You might have to do Flattened the original series.
Yeah, maybe. And it should come up. It's a 6-episode series, all the same characters that you've seen in the movie. And that's why when you've seen that snow globe, you're kind of seeing episodes,
flashbacks.
Yeah.
And then you pick up 6 years later, which is how long it's been since we've seen these characters in the series. So yeah, no short film, but it did derive from a series that we ended up turning in, like like he said, putting them into a horror film and just killing them.
That's awesome.
Also something that helped with the creation of this movie back during the pandemic of 2020, we didn't have a lot to do. And I don't know if you remember this, but Robert Burnett, he had that film festival.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so we recut the series into a feature-length movie. It didn't quite work, but I think that's where we started thinking, hey, let's maybe make this into a movie. Not only would it be, interesting and fun, but just to bring back all our friends and, have fun again.
That's good. Oh, yeah. It looks like you guys had a lot of fun in the movie. I enjoyed it. I really appreciate you giving me an early screener of it. And I did speak about it quite a bit, even on my lives, that it's a movie that everyone has to see. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, we really appreciate, you've been on our bandwagon for a while, and just the you could tell the enthusiasm you have for independent filmmakers and artists. And, we just love the fact that you're out there, letting people know, hey, there's a lot of artists out there that aren't on these upper echelon levels, that have great content, that have fun content. And, I think that's what our movie is. We don't deny anything else except, hey, sit down, pop some popcorn, maybe smoke a joint if you in a legal area. Let's preface that, right? I don't care. Right. Do whatever you want. And then pop on our movie and have some fun.
Yeah. It's definitely a great movie. You can see that you guys are having a lot of fun in creating it, and the kills were fun. I don't want to spoil it too much because I know there's a few people that are waiting to actually see it. And if you guys are waiting to see it, November 7th, you can rent it and buy it on Blu-ray, DVD. But right now, if you want, you can go to Amazon and you can buy it right now and watch today if you want. And if you do !guest in the chat, it'll pop up all the information you need in order to buy it or follow their social media. Thanks, Darkbreaker.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Darkbreaker just said he followed the YouTube channel.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's great. And so how did you guys get started? Like, where did this all, you want to be filmmakers, you want to be writers, where did this all start for you, both of you?
Okay, I'll let Shane go first.
I think you have the best story.
Do I? That's why I wanted to go last.
All right.
Go first.
Yeah, I always, I'm at that age too. I'm 41, where I question, like, how did I You know, I mean, as a kid, you kind of get into this, like, I'm going to be this and this, but you never really, I just had the passion. I love movies. I'm obsessed with all types of movies. I love stories. I just love how, Halloween was recent. And of course, we watched a bunch of horror movies. And one of my all time favorites, which I never really thought of it was a horror movie, it's called Bad Taste. It's
I
a Peter
love Bad
Jackson.
Taste.
Me too. Me too. And I remember just, in high school and college watching it with different friends, and certain friends would think it was hilarious, which I did, and other friends would think it was terrifying. And that always just fascinated me of how a movie could elicit just such extreme emotions from different people. And I wanted to know more, and I wanted to do that, just make people feel and have a, whatever experience that you have when you sit in front and of a movie and create new memories.
Yeah, that's always a good time. And Bad Taste is awesome. Peter Jackson, and he was making the masks in his mother's kitchen, from my understanding.
Amazing.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, for me, my whole journey in this whole thing started maybe around 2013, 2014. That's when I met my wife. And she was a huge Seth Rogen fan, and I hated Seth Rogen. I hated everything about all of those movies, and I honestly had no reason or real, particular thing. I don't know why I hated him. And there was the movie called This Is the End. You remember This Is the End?
This Is the End?
Yeah, This Is the End.
No,
it has Seth Rogen, Jonah Hill, James Franco, Kevin Hart.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Rihanna.
Yes. This is the end with a big giant devil at the end of them. Okay. Yes. Yes.
Yes. So there was this movie's out, and my wife, she wants to watch it, and I'm like, she's my girlfriend at the time, and we just met, so I didn't want to get on her bad side or anything. So I'm like, yeah, sure, let's watch this Seth Rogen movie, and I fucking loved it. I fell in love with Seth Rogen like immediately. I fell in love with the movie and the cast of characters. They all play themselves in that movie, and yeah. So I guess, my story is that I kept watching it. So maybe like 6 months went by, and I kid you not, I watched the film maybe like 6 or 8 times a day, like all day long. I was just watching this movie. And I don't know why, but like it was like it was saying something to me, and I needed to know what it had to say. And it was like it was calling to me. And so I just kept watching it and kept watching it. And eventually I came to the conclusion that, how cool would it be to get to a point where you and all your best friends are so cool and popular that you can play yourselves in a movie and everyone know who yourselves are, and you guys just have fucking fun making a movie together. And it just hit me in that moment. It was like, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to build up to a point where I can be like that. And that's how I got into all of this.
Nice. That's great origin stories. Yeah, This Is the End. I've seen it a few times. I had to think there. I thought you were saying This Is the Inn, and I'm like, the inn. That doesn't sound familiar.
And E&D. Yeah.
And yeah, no, that was a good
here,
one.
so
And they played themselves. I don't think the budget was that high.
Oh, I think it was. I think it was a super high budget
for like comparatively to like us. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Knocked up.
Yeah, it was. It was also Seth Rogen's first time directing a film. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge Seth Rogen fan myself.
Yeah.
I did like Zach and Mary Do a Porno. That was one of my favorites.
That's a good one. Classic.
That was fun. Kevin Smith.
Yeah, I love Kevin Smith. That's great. How much of a budget did you guys have for this film, A Very Flattened Christmas?
Not a single cent. We went to this, all our actors were unpaid. They were well fed, but very non-paid.
And their time respected.
Yes, we respected their time. And again, it was coming out of the pandemic, and we all had been sitting in the house and not creating or doing anything, and just hadn't seen each other in a long time. So we wanted to, be out and around each other and just have fun for once, since it had been a while anyway. But originally, I planned on spending maybe, $7,500 to $10,000 on the film. But it was my first time being a sole producer on a film, and I found out rather quickly that that goes and goes and goes. And when it was all said and done, we ended up spending almost $30,000, or I ended up spending almost $30,000 on the film. So
Yeah, it's definitely not cheap. I know I have a few Vincent DeSanti, who does the Never Hike Alone series. There's been times that he was sleeping in his car and couch surfing just to save the money, so he didn't have to pay the rent to go into the movie, right? So when you have a dream and you want to follow it, you're willing to sacrifice whatever it takes to make it happen.
That's right.
And I think that's how everybody involved was, from all the actors to our special effects artists. Abby, even brought in her boyfriend, Seth, who was a huge help. I don't know how we could have made this movie without Seth's help. So, everyone had this goal in mind, wanted to achieve it, and, made sacrifices, like you said, to make it happen. And, I think that, like numerous people have said, you can see that it's a product of love. And that's probably my favorite feedback we get from this movie, is that how people can feel how much we loved and just enjoyed making it. And I'm glad that comes through.
Yeah. Oh, you can see it in the movie, that the fun that you guys had, the love that you were pouring into it, the acting. I will say there is one actor that really got me, and if you saw my review, you know that
for sure.
it made me had feelings, and that's it's a good thing when a movie can make someone watching it have an emotion, whether it's anger, like disgust. It's always a good thing. And you guys did well. For me, that character I can't remember his name, but Dick Puncher guy.
Oh yeah, Jesse
Bailey is the actor's name. His character's name is Rick Barnes.
Rick Barnes. Yes. Yeah, no, that one there.
And I know another one of your favorite actors, Becky Janek, played Jerry Ann. That's one
of my
thing I love about making movies, and just the whole process and then the outcome, because originally she wasn't in the movie as much. We wanted to include her a lot, but she ended up being almost, a co-star, just based on the fact we had actors drop out or couldn't film on certain days, and we would just call her up and be like, Becky, we need you. You're filling in. You're now in this scene. Yeah. Or, hey, we had reshoots. Like a year later, we wanted to add more killer. We were getting such positive feedback from the killer, and we shot some additional scenes, and we were like, Becky, can you come back? And she was in Florida. And she was like, I'd love to. I can't wait. Let's do it. And she stayed a whole week, and we were able to get all these additional scenes in the movie that, I really think really helps add to to everything.
Yeah, no, I loved her character. The glasses, the whole character of her. Yeah, no, she was my favorite in there.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Do you guys want to watch the trailer to the movie A Very Flattened Christmas?
Let's do it.
You guys can get an idea. If you want to, again, exclamation point guest in the chat will give you all of their information, and you can check out my trailer reaction and the movie review if you want to see a bit more on my YouTube channel. But let's get into the trailer.
Perfect.
Do you guys have sound? I'm not hearing any sound on
there's no sound
on the stream side of things. Yeah, hold on. Let me just see.
Just hear me and you. Yeah.
Let's see if we get it through our system. We'll see if we get that better. Told you, there's always a kerfuffle.
Live streaming.
Oh, hey, Merry Christmas. How do you find this beautiful day?
It's dead, like our dear friend on the ground. But you never give up hope. Who knows?
There we go.
Maybe this is the Christmas he comes back.
I know I'm not the guy. You know I'm not the guy. You're just using me as bait. Run away, coward.
Describing major plots involving powerful people spanning back decades. Sounds like half our nation these days.
Hold it right there, zombie family.
So many quiet years. And all of a sudden, people start showing up.
I love that your daughter
As you
runaway
feel the pain, just remember, you're supposed to. It's all right. I'm here, baby. It's Merry Christmas.
I'm the Dick Puncher. I I punch dicks and I make millions, baby.
Friend dies, and that's it.
I got eyes and ears everywhere. Watching us.
And you think that was enough to then kill his friends?
Oh, fuck, no, fuck, Mommy. Hello, anybody out there?
Stop right there!
You don't even work here. And when you did, you were like the worst employee I ever saw.
Oh, you've had this coming a long time.
This is my special day.
I like that the editing. Did you guys, both of you, do the editing yourselves for the trailer and the movie?
It was just all me. It was everything. No, I'm joking. It was all Shade. Shade did all the editing.
Yeah, we did a couple different trailers. We did a teaser first, so it was really cool to do this one. I love doing trailers. They're just a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, it looked like a lot of fun. And in my review, I was saying I liked the opening scene with the snow globes, and the ending was pretty cool. The ending credits, I should say, was pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
that actually came. We were doing some ADR with Mark Minette. He plays Dale, the older gentleman who does the eulogy at the beginning and the ceremony at the end. But anyway, we brought him in and we were done recording. We were just reminiscing, hanging out, and he was talking about if there was any way we could work the episodes back in. And he was just talking about, thinking about the production value. It's actual real past footage that we have. Everyone looks different, and just like, oh, I love that idea. And we were all kind of just brainstorming, and then I can't remember if it was Key or Shanna who was like, oh, snow globe, and it kind of just built from that. So it was a great way to incorporate the old Flattened series, but at the same time it's interesting enough to where someone like yourself who wasn't aware of the Flattened series, you love the opening, and it doesn't matter if you knew or not what context these images were coming from.
And when it came to the end credits, we had this big cast of all these amazing characters and actors, and I loved them all. And so I told Shane, I was like, I want Avengers credits. I want Avengers credits where it pops up each person, and he delivered. And it's one of my favorite parts of the movies. Honestly, when the end credits comes.
Yeah, they were great. I was like, when I was watching the whole thing, I was, oh, that's pretty friggin' awesome. I'm writing my notes, obviously, because I always take notes, and regardless of a movie that I watch, if I watch it and do a review or just for my own self, I'm always writing notes, and that was one of my key things, and I crossed it underneath it. End credits. How did you guys make the special effects for the blood, and did you guys use pre-made blood? Did you guys create your own blood?
Well, how did we find Abby?
So Abby, our special effects girl, she was the cousin of the guy that plays Dan, Trevor Vincent Farney. Yeah, sadly she's related to them. but
a lot of that family's in the movie.
A lot of the blood, some of it was pre-made stuff, a lot of it was stuff we made with corn syrup and whatever else. But
I do want to say that we also had another special effects artist, Jack, who helped us.
Jack.
And one thing, we were getting a lot of feedback with our blood, which it's sticky, and
the benefits are great.
We have a very
but the screamiums will kill you.
Buy 6 costumes so we can bloody them up and film out of order. We had to film chronologically a lot of the sequences because of the costumes, because we knew we were going to bloody them up. And then if we had to bring them back the next day to add more blood, it's crunchy and it hurts, and they hate peeling it off. And Jack, he added soap to our blood mix.
Dawn dish soap.
And that was, any indie filmmakers out there, put the Dawn dish soap in your blood. It makes it a breeze washing it out. The actors love
even
it.
out of like clothing, like
Yeah.
I mean, out of white
Really?
clothing, blood stains came all the way out,
Yeah.
like completely out. It was amazing.
Wow, who would have thought Dawn dish soap in there?
Yeah,
Right?
no kidding.
Yeah, it's not just saving the ducks; it's saving the saving the indie
actors.
filmmakers as well.
Yeah. 1 second, my granddaughter is asking me a question. Yes, honey.
Okay.
Go upstairs and ask you, Mom. Mom knows. Okay. All right. My granddaughter has been sleeping over since Halloween, so she's been having a
Oh, I
fun
love
time.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, they always love Grandma's house, right? Remember filmmakers, condoms, lube, and Dawn. Yeah, a lot of movies use shredded condoms and Alien to make the xenomorph, and a lot of friggin' lube. They were saying KY jelly, vats of KY jelly for like Alien and Predator. And
Maybe that's what P. Diddy was doing. He was getting into independent filmmaking.
He's gonna come out with the best, creepiest movie soon.
Right.
Right?
He's gonna have every actor A-lister in it too, so you know.
Yep. I think that's more of a list, but it's coming.
Who was your cameraman?
So, we had a lot of people kind of help out. So our main cinematographer was Win Ponder, and he also operated a lot of the camera. We like to talk. He's in his 60s now, and we like to say we retired him because he's
Wow.
Because we did. That's
Yeah,
how we
we put him a lot through. So then we also had to bring in another indie filmmaker, Nathan Smith, and he plays Jay in the opening scene of the movie.
Okay, yeah.
And he's a very, very talented cinematographer and director in his own regard. So we brought him in for a few scenes as well. Seth, who I mentioned earlier, he would operate the camera, pull focus, do everything, AC, grip, gaffer, DP, anything we asked this kid to do, he was so willing. If you can find willing people, just
Yeah.
I mean, fulfill their dreams. No, I'm just kidding. He had a lot of fun, and like I said, we were very all gun ho, all of us to get this process. And then there was a lot of scenes where I had to just do it myself. So it was a very collaborative effort, as any great movie will be.
Yeah. Sorry, she's playing around the camera. Hey, move, Tobias. Moving back over there. Thank you. No, that's great. If you can find eager people that want to help and do things, and it also gives them experience in
Absolutely.
doing those things. So if they ever want to progress down that road, they have some sort of experience, internship, right?
Right.
Absolutely. There's no better way to learn than to actually do it.
Right.
I agree.
So, yeah, we had a guy as well. His name was Dean Kavina. I don't know. He's from Kenya. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name. But he, after he had seen the film, he seen it on a night in the theater where there was very few people, just like 2 or 3 people. And afterwards, everyone there, stayed around and was kind of talking. And Dean, he had no experience, and he was explaining his story, which was, I showed up first day, and as soon as I get there, they're like, we need you to go get energy drinks from Quick Trip. And in there is another local filmmaker, and he mentions, and I know Shane and I know how true this is now, is that those guys are the most important guys. Those guys that are willing to go get a soda or a drink or water or just whatever we need, whenever we need it. Not everyone's willing to do that. A lot of people want to play actor and play star and play all these things. I'm not going to get no power drinks. I'm on set, and all this stuff. And yeah, it's not easy to find guys like Dean. Shout out to Dean that are willing to, go do, we had this scene where we had, Dean, he actually plays, if you remember, he plays Reginald, the butler to, and we had this scene for Butler, and it was someone didn't show up.
It was Wong.
Yeah, someone didn't show up. And so we're like, Dean, do you want to be in the movie? You know, because he was just, you know, he was just a PA, you know,
Right.
He was just happy to be a part of it anyway. And he's like, yes. And we were like, do you got a suit? And he's like, no. He's like, but I'll go buy one right now. And he left. He buys like a $400 suit. He comes back and we just drench it in blood. And he was as happy as could be. You know, I just seen him the other day on Facebook, made a post. He was like, you know, Key and Shane took a chance on me, and I'm so grateful. Go watch this movie.
You know, to be quite honest, he took a chance on us. I mean, there's so much, like he said, you know, it's the glory roles are the, you know, the actors, the directors, the people that get the credit, but there's so much involved where there's quite a few balloon arches in the movie, and we got to blow every one of those balloons up. And we had Dean blow up probably 80% of those balloons, him and Shanna. And my wife, who was also in the movie, she's the art director. She, you know, helped us with every aspect. And, you know, there were certain scenes that would take us a day or two to prep for, you know, background, to blow up the balloons or the conspiracy room. And then we'd end up shooting just a couple hours in there and be like, okay, there's days of work just
to tear it down.
Yeah, for a couple hours of shooting for only a couple minutes of footage for the movie. So, you know, everything. So for every minute that's in the movie, you got to imagine there was days of prep and multiple people that are behind the scenes that will never get the credit to pull off just
for sure
some of these scenes in there.
The other funny thing about Dean is that he had no experience being on a film set at all, you know, so he's seeing like the, you know, the blood and guts of it, you know, the
how they make the sausage.
Yes, how they make the sausage. And he brought it up, you know, after the movie. He goes, I can't even believe it. It's a movie. He said, you know, when I was there, you know, nothing's working out and, you know, things are this and that. And it's just like, is this even going to be a movie? How does this work? And bam, it's a movie, you know, and it's just a funny way to be a part of it. But yeah, shout out to Dean and all the people like him. Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, just to be a part of it, to want to be and help out and just and then actually get a part in the movie itself. Like,
see, it pays off. It pays off to be there and be involved.
I
and
do feel bad.
It
for
does.
Seth. There was a scene in the movie where we had a preacher. And we kept telling Seth, you're doing such a great job, you're going to play the preacher, and we just never filmed it. It never got filmed. And so I do feel bad that Seth is he worked so hard and he wanted to be in the movie, and we promised him he was going to be in the movie, but it's going to have to be the next one.
Next one.
Yeah, well, hey, nothing wrong with being in the next movie, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Just string him along, you know.
That conspiracy room, how long did it take to set that up?
Oh my goodness,
that had to take a while.
Full day for sure.
I mean, it took
days of prep.
It took like a week just to get all the shit. Yeah, right. To print everything off, get the maps, and there's, you know, everything, and then
it was full hands on deck. We had in the movie, Trevor Farney, he plays Dan. His two brothers that are twins, Robbie and Bobby, Shanna Berry, my wife, myself, Key, his wife. I mean, how many people is that right there? 6. Dean, 7. I mean, it was all hands on deck, just people pasting things,
and it's still with that. It still took 4 or 5 hours.
I would have to say the worst was here's all this. We do all the setup, and you know we did it all the day before we filmed. Then it's all day filming, and then I get a call from Key. He's like, "Hey Shane," I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" Hey, you got to come over. We got to clean this up. Oh man, we just put it up. We just filmed it. And now it's like now we got to take it all down.
Yeah.
Oh man, movie making.
Yeah.
What was the hardest scene to film in your movie? Was there a hard scene to film?
Well,
I want to hear you.
I don't. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know what he's gonna say, but I would say I'm not gonna speak this one for me, but for the most of the cast that I know that were on this particular shoot would want me to say the snow day, the snow scene. It was very cold.
I bet.
You know, recently I was talking to Lucas Farney, the guy that plays Red Eyes, the killer in The Mask, and you know he's got that ghillie suit on, and it's just like a jersey. You know, it's see-through, it's mesh. You know, and he's got nothing really underneath it. And he was just freezing. And then we got Nathan Smith, who's crawling in the snow and blood, and it's wet. And it was, I mean, I was on set, you know, as a producer, and I'm in a big parka and all of this, and I'm still freezing my ass off. So I know that the couple of guys and a few other people that day, like Abby, you know, doing the makeup and the blood, they really suffered through that snow day. And it was kind of far away from home, not super far, but further from than other places we were shooting, you know, so we had to drive all the way there and drive all the way home. And it's like the only time it's snowing, you know, so that's probably what I would say. What would you say?
Maybe the finale, just because we had to break that into multiple days, and it was a lot. I definitely underestimated the amount of shots and length, and we had special effects, and we just had we had to duct tape everybody together, so anytime anyone needed to use the restroom, that was a whole ordeal. Then we gotta bring it back and redo it, and so a lot of things you don't think about when you're writing it and planning it, and it's just like, bathroom breaks, people need those.
Or how about like the duct tape? You know, how many movies have you seen with the piece of duct tape over their mouth? Like, that's not real. I don't know what they're doing.
It's falling off at points.
Yes, it's barely. You breathe a little hot breath on it, and it's like,
there,
you know,
planning on kidnapping someone, don't use duct tape
or wrap it all the way.
But we learned real quick that it's not as advertised and what you see as movies. And you know, I think that, you know, we get these questions all the time with this movie where it's like, oh, you know, what were your influences? I can see this and this, and it's just like all movies have made this movie, just us growing up and watching everything, and again believing that duct tape can bound someone together, you know. It's just, these are things that we pick up from movies that, oh, this is real, and so everything's influenced us.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I saw caught a few that I thought may have influenced the movie. There was this one scene with the gallows scene in TCM where your guy was up on almost
like
like
chains and the hooks.
And I automatically thought of Texas Chainsaw Massacre when I seen that. And I was like, oh, I wonder.
You know, it's funny how, you know, like with movie making, it's so organic. So we wanted to film in this location, and it's Key's dad's auto shop, and it's just so real and dirty and grimy, and to an aspect that we couldn't achieve without millions of dollars. So it's so authentic because it's real. So we show up on set and we're just like, oh, I love these chains, let's incorporate this, let's do this, and it just kind of built from that organically. And then we start the next day, it's night, we have all the lights pumping in, we got the smoke machine going on, we got the actors in costume, in blood, and now we're shooting this, and it just hits me. It's like, oh my God, this is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And so it might have been intentional subconsciously, but it was just something that happened with what we had. And then once we had the cameras rolling, we were like, yeah, let's roll into it. This is the grittiest thing we've ever filmed. I love this. More smoke, more blood. Let's just really go to it. And yeah, it was something that wasn't intentional in the concept, but once it started developing that way, we definitely leaned into it.
Well, we definitely had more than a few people point out the Fargo style of opening.
Yeah.
And we definitely were kind of, we had some, we just watched, remember, like we
just watched it.
I'd never seen it. He showed it to me, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool, you know? So
yeah, that's why I like it's a neck wound specifically, like Steve Buscemi. I mean, like I said, I'm a hack. I have no originality within me. Everything has been influenced by all the media that I've consumed pathetically.
Original ideas, who has those?
They're overrated.
Right.
Well, I think every director from indie film and up to Wes Craven and John Carpenter, they were influenced by the movies of their era.
Oh, absolutely.
And you can see it in their films and how they produce. So I think it's great that it feeds everybody. Right. And you can put those things into your film, even if you don't mean to do it, like it just happens. Right.
Yep.
Well,
it's pretty cool.
I for a brief time I taught film I had a college, and what I would tell my student filmmakers is it's not our jobs to reinvent cinema, it's our jobs to stand on the shoulders of the giants that came before us, just so we can see a little bit further.
Yeah,
and that's how I would sum it up.
Yeah, that's awesome. What was some of the favorite scenes to film for you guys?
The entire auto shop, that whole weekend was great.
Yeah, that was a fun time.
Yeah.
That was probably the best time of the film. It was you know, a long time after all of the original shooting was done, and it was not cold as hell, not hot as hell. It was nice weather. Everyone's back together hanging out. Yeah, I would say that all the stuff you see down there in the killer's lair is what we call those scenes, where he's in the Santa suit. Yeah, all of that stuff was probably the funnest stuff to do for sure.
You know, I love filmmaking, like not just the movie itself, watching it, creating it, but like the actual journey that you have. And you know, we overshot, you know, I mean, we you know, planned for that. Like we knew that we were being too ambitious when we came to film those scenes. Like we had to get a lot, and just being in that moment of craziness and just, you know, dealing with it, you know. One thing that when Ponder, my cinematographer, I love this was probably my favorite thing he brought to the film shoot, and I will miss on the film sets from here on out. But there will be points where, you know, something with the actors or something with the costume, and just, you know, we need to get this shot and things are getting crazy. And he would just look at me and he would just say, what would Werner Herzog do? And right then I knew anything that it takes, we got to get it done. And so, you know, there's just a lot of craziness, and you just got to embrace that and accept it in a movie and just kind of use it. And what would Werner Herzog do? Anything to achieve what he wanted. So that
including
was
but not
mantra.
limited to being shot mid-interview and just continuing the interview.
That's right.
Because who cares?
Show must go on.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes on in creating a movie that a lot of people don't get to see. They don't know what goes on behind the scenes. All they see is the movie being made. They don't really see everything that's behind it. All the, you know, the sound stage, the work that goes into it, the running around, all of that jazz into creating a movie.
The drama.
Yeah,
you know,
the
too,
drama.
You know, and that's one big thing about, you know, I actually watched, when I went to go see the Forest Hills, you know, at Kevin Smith's Smod Castle a year or so ago, and I actually recorded an interview, like a video of him I just watched the other day. I don't know how I forgot it, but he was talking about how filmmakers, you know, like anybody can do it, but not everyone does. And he's, you know, like how we're like astronauts, you know, there's very few of us. And now I forgot even what was it that you were talking about now? Fuck, I forgot what we were talking about.
Just the chaos of filmmaking.
Oh yeah, he was saying that what he respects the most about a filmmaker is the being able to balance all of those different people, like and making them be able to come together and be there every day and work together and get along enough to make a movie and then make it good is the most difficult part, he said, about filmmaking. And I kind of agree that can definitely be the most difficult part.
Yeah,
especially once you get a lot of people waiting too, because everything takes longer than you expect, and it's just like,
and it's cold or it's hot or it's, you know, all these things.
Yeah, but to keep everyone's temper under control as well, because it's a lot of people, a lot of different personalities, everything involved. Definitely, yeah, I would have to agree with that.
Free. You know,
for food, which food could be just as good as money.
Yeah, true, food. Very true. Good food too. Good
I love food.
Every set was catered. I just want to say that.
So. Oh, nice.
Drinks.
Yes, anything anyone needed. You know, and gas money. You know, stuff like that.
Exactly. What he could do, he would do.
That's right. If I could have paid my actors, would have been done.
Right.
That's where we're hoping to get to. We're hoping to get to a point where we can do that, you know.
I'm sure you guys will get to that point. You keep doing what you're doing and keep pouring your love, sweat, and tears into a film, and people see that, right? People like me who like watching films. I love indie films. You can, especially indie films, you can really see the love that people put into it, the hard work, even the actors that they put into every piece of a film, whether it's a short film or a long film, and you can see that. And you can see when a movie is made just for money. I mean, we can see a lot of Marvel films that are just made for money. You can see the differences in those films. So I think you guys have something good.
Oh, well, we appreciate that. And, I agree, with indie filmmakers. We're all foolish. We'll all say, I just want people to see it. And when you got someone saying, I just want someone to see it versus I just want to make money, that at least you're going to have an experience that's enjoyable and worth remembering.
Yeah, like I always say, we're not we didn't set out to try to, get into the Academy Awards with this film or even a festival or anything. We really, really just wanted to make something together and have fun and make something that if we could say anything about it, that you had a fun time watching it. Well, not it was a good movie, not that it was a bad movie, but man, that was fun. Like, and I think we did it.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
actually
Yeah.
surprised by the feedback, and from you, and you still incorporating us into your shows. Again, it was hard to see past what we enjoyed, and so the fact that you guys are also enjoying it, it's just like, oh wow, really? That's such a great side effect.
Yeah. I thought it was fun. I sat there and watched the whole thing. I'm like, that is a fun friggin' movie. I don't know if you guys know who the Trailer Park Boys are.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Okay, they're one of my favorites, and they're Canadian. And yeah, when I was watching, it kind of reminded me of their when they first started out and their shooting, the way they shot their videos. They were shorts. They weren't long shows. They were only like 20 minutes long, if that. Some of them.
Yeah.
And yeah, when it started opening and I was watching it, I'm like, this feels like trailer, and I love that. Canadian comedy here.
Yeah, the series we got Letterkenny, which I believe is also in Canada.
Yes, Letterkenny is Canadian.
We got a few different Canadian, actually.
Yeah, Trailer Park Boys. We'd get that a lot when the series was first made. They were like, "Oh, you guys must be huge fans," and I think it's just the rural characters, the kind of the humor where it's not intelligent humor. They're not. I don't know if there's an intelligent character within the
within Flattened. No way.
I don't think so either. So I think there's just some similarity. He plays a villain. So.
Right.
The smart people are the villains.
Yeah, no, it's definitely great. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every bit of the movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. And I don't think we have a reindeer slasher. We have every other holiday killer, and I mentioned this in my review video. So we have every other killer.
I think that's one of the things why we went to that. So when we come back to the like I said, we're just creeping out of the pandemic. Me and Shane are together. We're like, God damn it, we got to do something. We need to make, we have all these creative juices flowing, and we're like, we got to do something. And Shane, goes back to Flatten. He's like, well, let's do another season of Flatten. We get the crew back together, and it could be fun. And I like the idea because it sounds fun, and I miss all these people, and it would be cool to get all back together. But I told Shane, it's like, but I want to do a movie. Like, I really want to do a movie this time.
Yeah.
And I want to do a horror movie. So I'll do Flatten as long as it's a horror movie. And then I had one other stipulation, which was that it was at Christmas. And I don't know why, but I love Christmas or holiday or themed horror movies.
Yeah, they're always fun.
For sure.
Well, one thing that I thought was funny, and especially during the writing process, so we've had this long debate about, and a lot of people have, is Die Hard a Christmas movie, or is it just an action movie that takes place during Christmas?
Not a Christmas
movie. So that was
Key's
big thing, is that this can't be a Christmas movie. It has to be a movie that takes place during Christmas.
Right.
So there would be points where, maybe Holiday Cheer defeats this, or I was bringing in, and Key would be like, no, this is not a Christmas movie. It's just a movie that takes place during Christmas. So anything that was like, coming togetherness or anything like that, he was like, no, we got it. That's not this movie.
Which is funny because we had a couple critics, right, that were like, there's no Christmas themes in this movie at all.
It's like, yeah, it's not a Christmas movie. It's a horror movie, horror Halloween movie
with the backdrop
of Christmas. So you can enjoy, just like, and that was the whole point, is that he wanted a Die Hard movie wwhere people will debate. Now, hopefully,
is it even a Christmas movie, or does it just happen at Christmas?
Exactly.
True. Yeah. For me, it's a holiday horror. I love holiday horrors. Like, you have elves and Ginger Dead Man, which I friggin' love Ginger Dead Man. Like,
Yeah, and back to that when we were, you know, when he's like, okay, I like it, you know, what's our killer? And then we started, you know, like you did in your review video, we're going, okay, there's a snowman already, there's a gingerbread already, there's a bong, there's so many things.
What have we not
like,
seen?
What are we not seeing? And I'm like, what about a reindeer? There's no fucking reindeer killer. That seems so. There's got to be a reindeer killer, right?
Especially with the horns. I mean, that's already
Right.
threatening.
Right.
I mean, it just seemed so perfect
Yeah.
and obvious.
Yeah, and obvious. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, I thought the reindeers. I'm like, we don't have a reindeer slasher. I haven't
don't.
seen
We
a
do
reindeer
now.
killer. Now we do. So who knew that we needed a reindeer slasher?
Yeah, I guess we did. We knew.
Yeah, you did. It was definitely a fun killer. Even the look of him was creepy. Like he looked like a reindeer, but he was really creepy looking. Is that a costume? Did you guys make that, or did you buy a costume and like edit it?
So that was Abby Evans, our special effects girl. She handmade that from scratch. Like, you know, she bought the fur.
I think the fur is actually carpet.
Well,
didn't she cut it out of carpet? Like,
yeah,
material?
she bought like carpet material from like a I can't remember the name of the place.
So it's kind of that faux fur.
Yeah, so it feels like
Oh,
fur.
wow.
Yeah. It was and then like a lot of paper mache and just it's cardboard, lots of
I think the horns are like clay
horns. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow,
Yeah,
very
painted
creative.
And the eyes were like solo
Plastic.
cups. Plastic cup, see-through cup lids. And well, they were clear, and then she Sharpied them with red Sharpie, and that's how we got the red eyes. So crazy.
Oh wow, that is very
my
cool.
favorite effect that Abby did. We have the whole film takes place with these flattened characters, which the name and the series comes from their roadkill collecting you know, people, civil servants, and you know, especially where we're at in Kansas, there's a lot of roadkill, and so it was an obvious you know,
how has this not been done yet?
Yeah, right. and so we kind of set that up in the movie too. We have one person go out there and they're picking up a raccoon, and she also made that, I can't remember, and it's like twigs and sticks, and she put leaves in it,
rocks, gravel.
And I remember when she showed up with it, and I'm just like, all right, we're filming, let's do it. And now in the movie, and you even see like some of it coming
rocks
out,
come out,
and it
looks
just
like
leaves
guts
and rocks, but it came out so well, and it just looks so great. And I got to shout that out. That's probably my favorite.
That's one of those Dean moments, right? You're watching, you're like, there's no way this is ever gonna make. You're not gonna watch this and go, that was a dead animal, and then it did.
It looked great.
Yeah,
it did. It looked great. Who would have known that it's like rock, sticks, and leaves?
Right.
That is pretty cool. Yeah, no, I thought the whole roadkill company was awesome. It was a pretty neat thing.
You should check out the series. I bet
I'm going
would really
to
enjoy it. Yeah.
I am definitely going to. And I didn't know that there was a series until now. So I am definitely going to check it out. And in here in Canada, we could use a roadkill cleaning company, because we have a lot of wildlife.
Yeah, I believe it.
And so all of this was filmed in Kansas?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, we were going to, because again, you know, snow is so indicative of Christmas time, even though snow lasts many months. But when people see snow, they think Christmas. So we knew we wanted to start the movie with a snow scene. It's very rare we get snow in Kansas, maybe a light dusting, maybe a couple inches for a couple of days, but it's very rare.
Anymore, it's rare. When, 10 years ago, it snowed all the
It did seem like it snowed all the time when I was a kid, but we were going to drive to Colorado, which is about a 10-hour trip. 8-hour trip.
Yeah, 8-9 hours.
Just to capture snow. And we had one of the biggest snowstorms hit Kansas in a while, and we were like, we got to capitalize on this. So we went out the very next day, filmed that opening scene. So there was going to be one scene that wasn't going to be filmed in Kansas, but because we lucked into some weather, that also was filmed in Kansas. So everything was Kansas. Most of the majority of the movie was filmed at Newman University, which is here in Wichita, Kansas. And our actor, Mark Minette, is the theater director there, which is how we got access.
Nice. Basically,
and also
kept the expense down. We'd have to pay
then it kind of just like all fell together.
Yeah, it seems like it.
when we started doing it, we didn't have a script in place. So it started off as an idea, and based on what we could achieve and the connections we had, really went into the script. And, I was telling Key this recently, we have a scene where it takes place at a funeral and then a wedding in it, and both of them are just black curtains everywhere. And someone asked me the significance of those, and I was like, the significance was, originally when I wrote it, we had access to a church within Newman University, and then when we went to film, because of the blood, we no longer had the access, and so we had to film in their black box theater. And so, a lot of, again, filmmaking, you got to stay on your toes, but most of the script was written knowing where we were going to film at, what actors we were going to use, and things to that effect.
Nice.
Just, take advantage of what we had.
Yeah. Oh, that hoodie that you're wearing, Key, in the movie, does that have a meaning?
Okay, so the only meaning that hoodie really has, glad you noticed it. Thankfully, somebody did, because it was not a cheap hoodie. The only significance that it has is, so in the series, Max and Dan are like best friends. And in this movie, Max has been moved away for 6 years, and we don't really know where he's been or what he's been doing. We see that he's got a Corvette and he's wearing a suit, so he's doing well for himself. Right around that time was when Kanye and Drake did a pop-up what do you call it, concert together in California. It was like announced like 2 days before it happened, and it sold completely out. And it was called the Free Hoover concert, and it was to raise money to free to raise money for prison reform is what it was.
Oh, okay.
And so it was like a pop-up thing, and these hoodies were like $500 a piece there, so they really, in order to have one of these hoodies, you had to be there that night and you had to have money. And so I kind of wanted to make it seem as if though Max was living this, extravagant big life. He's got the Corvette, he's got, the free Hoover hoodie, he's got all these shoes and these kind of things. Yeah. So so I'm glad you noticed it, but that's the only real significance behind it.
Oh, I did. I'm watching the movie and I'm like, okay, why is this show? Because usually sometimes an actor or the director purposely put something in the film to see if people see it, a message of some sort. And I'm watching, I'm like, I'm wondering if that hoodie means something.
Yeah. And then the other hoodie, as a director, colors very important, costumes are very important to me.
Yeah.
But since Key was financing it, there were certain things he was like, no, I'm wearing this. And one of them was that fuchsia hoodie. And oh my goodness, just color grading those scenes and filming them. It was just like, do you know what you're doing to me over here, buddy? It was just like, yeah, but it looks great.
Same thing. Those are the Jordan Paris line. So it's from Paris. It has like the Paris logos, and so if you know what that is and you see it, you're like, oh damn, that ain't cheap, and that's cool, So the idea was to make Max, because once you see the series, you'll really see the changes, contrast between the two of the characters, because he's really grown up and become, I'm not so dumb anymore. Like, like he said, is there a smart character in the series, where in the show, I'm the only kind of normal. I mean, in the movie, I'm sorry, I'm the only kind of normal person, where in the show, we're all just, dumb.
Yeah, and you only wore t-shirts in the show.
Yeah, cat t-shirts and sweatpants is all I wore. And so I was like a bum, Yeah. And so now in this movie, like I said, I got the Corvette and a suit and all this expensive stuff. So that's the reason why I went with a lot of the outfits that I did and costumes I did for Max, was just because I wanted him to look like money and like he was maybe living in Cali or something, like that.
Right.
Well, that was also just a lot of the fun of making this movie. I'm so glad people are enjoying it, but it's definitely, if you know the series, there's so many in jokes. And you mentioned Rick, one of your favorite characters, and Rick becomes this super celebrity.
Wait till you hear this.
And originally he's just, his nickname's Prick Rick. He's such an a-hole. And we just thought, how funny would it be if the worst person in the world finds the most success? And just how, if you're coming back from the series, you're almost like, what? This guy, he's the successful guy? How he doesn't deserve it. And he's so mean to people. And, it was kind of that thought of how, sometimes it's the least deserving that earn the most. And so we had a lot of fun with bringing these characters back and just having, go into way extremes with them.
Yeah, and in the series, he created. It was in the last episode, right? And in the very last episode, this isn't gonna spoil anything for you. Too crazy, anyway. He creates a video game, a phone game called Dick Puncher. And so 6 years later, we pick up, and that has turned into this whole thing,
like Marvel's cinematic universe.
Right? Yeah, it's like a Marvel thing, but with Dick Puncher.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. Yeah,
and when you watch the series, you'll be able to make.
I will definitely be checking out the series.
Especially like Jay being killed, right in the opening scene. That's something I really wanted to focus on, because Jay is kind of the glue of the series. He's not the star. I'm the star, and Dan's the co-star. But Jay's the guy. He's the heart. He really gives the series heart. And then we come right into the movie, and opening scene, we kill him.
And I felt that, as I'm watching it and the people coming together talking about him, you can tell he was the glue. Now when I go and watch it, the series, I'll get to see it. And then I'll get to buy a DVD when it comes out.
Heck yeah.
For sure.
And we also just wanted it to feel like nobody's safe. So when you're watching it, especially if you're familiar with the series, it's like, oh man, if they kill Jay, they can kill anybody. Who's going to be next? And so
right. Yeah. So that's the other thing too, is I don't know do you watch any of the Marvel movies by chance?
I've seen some of them. Not all of them.
So in Infinity War, at the beginning of Infinity War, Thanos beats Thor and Hulk and everybody at the beginning, and it really sets the tone for the movie that lets you know, hey, anyone can get killed in this movie,
Yeah.
And that's kind of something that I wanted to do, to let you know that hey, anything's on the table if Jay's already gone,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I have to go and watch the series. I know we're coming up on our hour. Is there any other projects you guys working on? Want to shout out anything, or projects that friends are working on? Go for it.
I will shout out at least a friend of mine here locally that has a film coming out. His name is Devon Bray, and I believe it is this.
I think it's Friday.
Coming Thursday.
Yeah, I think so. The 7th.
He has the 7th. He has a film called To Be Honest coming out. To Be Honest, Devon Bray Films. Definitely go check it out. We try to support anyone local doing anything that we're doing. So I will shout that out. As far as us doing anything, we're definitely working on stuff. Things are bubbling and brewing for us, and as long as things keep going this way, we should be on to a bigger, better thing here soon. And we'll definitely always keep you in the loop. And if you need a DVD or anything like that, you just send me an address and we'll get one sent out to you.
Perfect. Thank you.
You enough for
we can't tell you. We can thank you and appreciate you enough for having us on, for trailer reacting, all the things you've done. It means a ton to helping little guys like us, that's for sure.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I mean, thank you for thanking me. I just do it because I love indie films, and people send me links. Hey, you want to check this one out? And I'm like, yeah, I'll check it out. I think indie work is I prefer independent films over our AAA. I mean, don't get me wrong, Paramount and all that, they have really good films. I don't know. I just think there's something more with indie than having a pretty big budget already and huge backers, where everything is basically given to you, where an indie film, you literally have to create it yourself if you don't have the monies to back up all of the fancy graphics and makeup and visuals.
Right. Well, something else that you brought up and lots of people have brought up is the fact that you can see how much we had fun and just while watching. That's something that you don't often get watching a big Hollywood film. You don't see that anyone enjoyed any part of it. You're just like, okay, it was a good movie or it was a bad movie, but it just looked like they were there doing their job. Where I think people really in an indie format, they could really see the appreciation and enjoyment that these people have to be a part of such a thing.
Yeah, I think so as well. You can see it in your characters. And like I said, not a lot of movies can hit where you can feel that emotion. And in your movie, I love the character. I was really hoping nothing was happening to her. And then, Rick. I was like, oh, he's got to die. But that's awesome. I thank you guys again for coming over and hanging out with us and chatting about your movie. If you guys want to check out this movie right now, you can head over to Amazon Prime. You can buy it there right now. Or on November 7th, you'll be able to rent it or buy it on Blu-ray and DVD.
No. So you can buy it now on Amazon, or Blu-rays are available now as well. So if you go over to A Very Flattened Christmas Facebook page,
yep,
there
right here
should
on the
be
link.
a link there to the sales page for the Blu-rays. And then on November 7th, it will be available for rent as well on Amazon Prime.
Perfect. So there's the links right there, guys. If you want to check it out on Amazon Prime, the link is right there. If you want to rent it or get a DVD Blu-ray copy, right there is the Facebook link. Make sure you check it out. Support indie artists, because this is where all the lifeblood comes from. You can see it in their work that they love what they do and they enjoy the horror. I really enjoy the horror genre, so I'm glad that you guys had fun making a horror movie.
Yes, for sure. We will definitely be on the horror train from here on out. I think it's safe to say.
Nice. Right on. I'm excited to see more from you guys. All right, everybody at home watching, thank you so very, very much for joining us on this Sunday and hanging out with Key and Shane from the movie A Very Flattened Christmas. Go check them out over on YouTube. Check out the Facebook. Follow their Instagram. Everything, guys. So go and support them. Thank you so much for watching, and I will slash you all later. Bye.
See you guys.
Later.
Thanks for having us.